Okay, everybody, welcome to another edition of Unstoppable REI. I'm here with my buddy Shaun Young. I always ask people before to make sure pronounce the name correctly because sometimes, there's a little, I don't know, some nuance or something. But did I get it right? Are we good? Shaun Young, that's it.
You've got it, brother.
All
You've
right.
got it.
And I was just telling you about how much I love your beard. So how long we're going totally off script here, but how long have you been growing your beard, man?
I have been growing my beard now, I say for a good solid 5 years now. Four to
Man,
5 years now.
that's
Yeah.
commitment. All right, I like
And it's
that.
actually super long. I just got it pushed all
Is
together.
that right? So
Yeah,
are
it's a
you
lot
married?
longer than it looks.
Are you married?
I have an engaged. I'm fiance. I have a
Okay.
fiance.
Okay, cool. So what does your fiance think
Yeah, but
about
she
your
she loves it.
does she? Okay, the longer the
Yeah,
better. I
she
mean,
loves it. If I cut it, she'd be upset. Yeah, if
is
I
that
cut it off,
right?
she'd be upset.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Well, like I told you, I let mine grow. Mine was about that size, maybe a little longer, and that was about the limit that my wife could take. She was like, okay, hey, that's it. So so she's the boss. I mean, what can you do? You know what I mean? So I'm married up, so that's all part of the game. But anyway, all right, man. So I'm way off script, so let's jump on it. So let's get
Let's
into it,
do it.
man. Why don't you tell me what? Give me your 30-second elevator pitch. I mean, what? Tell me what you do, and let's go right to the beginning here.
Sure, guys. I'm Shaun Young. I'm based here in Atlanta, Georgia. I do wholesaling, creative deals, land deals. I coach students all over the country how to do the same thing, how to build businesses, and I show them how to run it. I build a business for them and show them how to run it. I operate a world-class virtual assistant company,
Nice,
the number one virtual assistant source for anyone in the real estate business in America. We're not the largest, but we are the best,
nice.
guaranteed.
Okay, I like it. I like it. So you got the nice beard, and you're in Atlanta. Now I'm in Minnesota. And right now
Okay.
it's like we got word that it's gonna be, well, anyway, a very, very large snowstorm. So I'm in a hurry
Oh
to
man.
get out of we would so just another personal note about me. My wife and I are sort of hovering above empty nester right now. So we're looking for a warmer
Okay.
climate. So is Atlanta, would you recommend Atlanta, man?
I definitely would, man. We have 4 seasons here, but it's never too extremely cold in my opinion. Yeah, it
Yeah,
snows
yeah.
sometimes, but
Okay. But not like
it's
here.
for
It's
a
not
day
like
or
10
two.
inches, 12
Yeah,
inches, not gonna be all
no,
that craziness.
nothing. You got to go shovel out the driveway every day for months
Okay.
on end. No,
All
not at
right.
all.
All right. We got to put Atlanta on the list, the ATL. So tell me one thing that you wish you would have known when you started your career.
Yeah, guys. When I got started, I wish I would have known that follow up is key and follow up is
Mm,
king. If the money is in the follow up, you'll hear that term quite often. You got to have systems
yeah.
that will allow you to be able to follow up with your potential sellers.
Okay. Cool. I agree with that 100%.
Mhm.
I know that a lot of people have their own opinion about failure. You don't fail, fail forward and all this kind of stuff. But I want to know
Mhm.
what would you consider your biggest failure, and what did you learn from that?
Well, one of my biggest failures was depending on a career. Before I got into real estate,
Okay.
I I come from the corporate world. I was an executive sales exec,
Oh,
top
okay.
3% in the nation for
Nice.
a long time, and I was laid off when the CEO changed companies. The company was based in Sweden. When they
Okay.
changed CEOs, they laid off 750 of us, Salesforce
Wow.
project managers,
That's huge.
one day just out of there. Yes,
That's
indeed.
crazy. What did you
So
sell?
that taught me that we sold queuing technology. So
Okay.
if you go into like a dental office or a driver's license office, you pull a ticket and you sit
Yeah.
down, it says now serving ticket one. Yes. We sold that type of
Ah,
technology to government agencies and places all over the country.
yeah. You
Yeah.
know what? Isn't it crazy that you give them all your blood, sweat, and tears, and when they change their mind,
Mhm.
it's just it. You're gone. Boom. 90-second thought. They finished, and they'll
You,
finish the
you,
rest of their
you sign
coffee.
contracts.
Yeah.
You sign
Yeah.
contracts that are worth millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars on their behalf. And yeah, like you say, if they decide to switch how they're going to,
You're out.
roll the ship, that's it.
Man, that's
So that was my
crazy.
biggest mistake, brother. I'm honestly telling you, that was my biggest mistake was
Okay.
depending on my whole identity was wrapped around a job.
Okay. Okay. So what advice would you give to someone that is maybe starting off and they want to follow after your path? I mean, your career path. mean, not the one where you sold stuff and got laid off. We're talking about this living right here. Yeah. So what do you tell me about that?
Guys, my biggest piece of advice is to go now. Do it now. Learn as you go. Rufus mentioned something earlier, which is fail your way forward, and that's something that I truly do believe in. Taking massive, imperfect action, failing your way forward. Education in our business can be a crippler. And what I mean by that is spending a bunch of time on educating yourself, learning without taking the action. That's what I mean. You have to learn, take action, learn, take action, learn, take action. And you must be willing to take action even if you're not motivated. Motivation is fleeting, guys. So discipline over motivation would be my biggest piece of advice if you're approaching anything that's new.
I love that. I think that one strategy that I've often subscribed to is that you can learn stuff by actually, like you said, by taking action, but you can also learn stuff by teaching. So it's like I don't know anything about this subject,
100%.
so let me start teaching it, and now I can learn it kind of in the process. So it's interesting. So you mentioned education can be a crippler. Yes, I agree. But what resources have you found to be helpful? If you had to name maybe the top 3 resources that have helped you the most over your career.
Sure. The number one resource for me, guys, was getting a mentor, getting a coach versus just buying a course. The courses they're everywhere. They're a dime a dozen. The information is everywhere. It's not necessarily the information.
Okay.
So that's number one. Number two is hiring assistants, virtual assistants, getting a team around me to help me accomplish what my goals were. And number 3, having systems to make sure that all that would run smoothly.
Okay. Okay. As far as resources, again, you make me think of a bunch of different questions at one time. What about people that have influenced you? You mentioned hiring a coach. What if you had to name maybe the top 3 people, most influential people in your life? Who would they be?
Sure. As far as from a coaching perspective, I would have to put Tom Kroll at the top of that list.
Okay.
He used to own a company called Wholesaling Inc. And he was my first mentor that I paid for.
Okay.
I would also put Joe McCall up there. He was another mentor of mine.
Okay.
And Ron LeGrand. Those are 3 of my main mentors, indeed, when I first got started, and we're still friends to this day. So
okay,
those would be the most key influencers in my career.
Okay. Do you still have a connection with Ron? Ron is like the godfather, right? I mean,
Indeed. I have a webinar that me and Ron we run a webinar currently together right now.
oh,
So,
nice,
yes.
man. That's cool. That's cool.
Yes.
So, what do you think is a common myth in the real estate investing industry that you can debunk? What would you say that would be?
A huge myth is that you got to have a bunch of money. You got to have great credit, and those are myths. But I definitely want to tell you, you do need something. If you don't have the money or the credit, you've got to have the time. You've got to have the knowledge to be able to exchange value for. Be creative, guys, until you can get the money to where you want to get it. That's why I say, do not let anything stop you. If you have a big goal, let's say you're between here and your goal is your destination is starting here and your destination is the goal.
Yeah.
If you wait for all the lights to be green between here and your destination, you are never going to go. Most people sit around and they wait for the perfect time, the perfect opportunity. It's not going to happen, guys. You have to, as soon as that first light is green, which is it's always green, you have to go and have faith and belief in yourself that when you get to that next light, you'll know exactly what to do, and so forth and so forth.
I love that. Now we'll go off script a little bit here. Tell me a little bit about your the businesses that you have. You said you've got the virtual wholesaling. You've got a few different things that you do within the real estate space. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure, guys. I run a real estate company, and we focus again on wholesaling, creative deals, land deals. I also have a education side of my company where we teach students all over the country how to do the same thing that I do.
Okay.
And I own and operate a virtual assistant company, which is, virtual assistants are like, employees that are not located physically where you're located.
Okay. Nice. So if you were in my shoes asking the questions here, man, what question should I ask you that I'm not asking you? What do you want people to know that I'm not asking you about?
Well, guys, one thing that I just really want you to know is that you can do it. You got to believe in yourself, but you have to prepare yourself and you have to go all in. If you're going to attempt to do our business, one of the things that my mentor Tom Crow told me at the beginning, and he said, "Listen, if you're going to do this, what you have to do is pretend that your family has been kidnapped, and you're not getting them back until you get a deal under contract. Period.
Wow.
That's it." So when you think from those terms, what's going to be your excuse on why you're not making your calls? Why aren't you doing your market research? Why aren't you getting your buyers list built? Why aren't you doing the basic things that are necessary to get your family back?
Wow, that's serious. Did that help? That mindset?
100%. The mindset 100% helped, guys, because I was a victim of success from the beginning, guys. I had a lot of success right away. I hit the ground running, and I thought the business was super easy because of it. So I
Mm,
didn't build my business properly. I was like, oh, deals are just going to keep coming in, and I'll just keep
okay.
closing them out. And that's not how it works, guys. So I did, I wanted it so bad, and I feel like I created my success. We all can create opportunities and success because it's always out there for us to create. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
how do we maximize it? So I
Yeah,
wanted it very bad. Yes, I
sure.
wanted it.
So you mentioned building the business the right way. Can you give us maybe,
Mhm.
I mean, the first maybe 3, 4 steps, 5 steps, that somebody should take in order to build it the right way?
Sure. Well, guys, when you build a business, you definitely want to, get either create you an LLC or a C corp. Speak to a business professional, someone who creates businesses, and they can explain to you what are the tax, implications for whatever type of business, and what are the installations for you, because that may seem like it's not important until it is important.
All
So
right.
do not alleviate that piece. That is the foundation of your business, is having a strong business. So make sure you're understanding how to protect yourself. You're understanding, taxes. How do you handle taxes as an entrepreneur? How do you get health insurance? These are things that you overlook before you jump into it. So before you jump into the fire pan, so to speak,
Yeah,
make sure that you're understanding what you are getting yourself into. It's not like a W-2 where everything is provided for you. You are 100% going to have to manage your resources, your money, what's coming in, what's coming out. You got to have a P&L. You just got to know what's going on to operate your business, guys. So I didn't mention anything about really real estate or anything right there, if you guys notice, because that's so important. That foundational piece is so important, and so many people miss it, and they start making money, and
yeah.
they're not able to hold on to it.
Sure, sure, sure. I like that. So before I ask the last question here, man, tell me about how can people reach out to you if they want to connect with you? What's the best way to reach out to you?
Sure, guys. I'm on all social media platforms. I'm on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, all that's good stuff, guys. You can reach me. My all of my channels are called Nationwide Real Estate Mastery.
Okay.
Nationwide Real Estate Masters. Name of my YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Reach out to me, guys. I would love to speak with you. If you are looking for a professionally trained virtual assistant, the website for that is reiworldsolutions.com. And let me know that you saw me on Rufus's show, and I'll be sure we take care of you guys.
Nice. I like it. I like it. So so the name of my podcast is Unstoppable REI. Okay. And the sort of the backdrop
Mhm.
of that is that if you Google the term real estate investor failure rate, you see that 95% of real estate investors fail. And so what I wanted to do was talk to the top 5% real estate investors to find out, what they did to achieve success in an industry that has such a high failure rate. So I have a two-part question for you. First, I want to know how you define the word unstoppable. And then I want to know, what are you doing specifically to make yourself unstoppable when it comes to failure in this industry, because it has such a high failure rate? So two-part question.
Guys, unstoppable to me means that nothing can get in the way of the goals that you're trying to achieve. And the reason why I am unstoppable and I will continue to be unstoppable is because I refuse to limit myself and put myself in a box.
Mm,
Network, guys. I meet people who put me in position because I add value. Don't
mm,
meet people in a predicament of need. Meet people in a predicament of how can I assist you with what you've got going, and you'll be surprised at how your network will grow. people want to be around people who are doing things and who are positive. So that's what makes me, that's the secret to my success and my unstoppability is my network. You hear that cliche, your
Yeah.
network is your net worth. That is 100%, in my case, 100% true.
Sure, I agree with this. All about the people that you know. Speaking of which, can you share a little bit about your webinar with Ron LeGrand? Is that something that's coming up? You guys do it on a regular basis? Is it like, can you share anything about it at all?
Yeah,
Okay.
100%. What I can do for you, Rufus, is I'll actually give you a link for it and you can share it with your audience.
Oh,
It's a
great.
webinar where me and Ron are talking about, yeah, the lease options. We've already actually recorded it.
Okay.
So we're continuing to share it with our audience.
Oh, nice.
And I'll share it with you guys 100%. I'll give you guys that 100% for free, guys. And
Okay.
it's how to do creative deals. Basically, it's ownership. It's control without ownership is what you'll be taught. And in today's market, guys, I'm promising you, you need to have more in your tool belt aside from just wholesaling or just creative. You just got to be a little more versed
Yeah,
with other exit strategies. And I
sure.
promise you guys, take a look at that. You'll love it.
Yeah. Well, that's what he teaches is being a transaction engineer. I mean, having a bunch of tools in your tool belt. And so, but you don't hear I don't hear a lot of people talking about the creativity. Now, I'm a creative guy too. That's what I do. Ron LeGrand is my guy as well. Also Joe McCall, but Ron is a granddaddy, right? So
He's the
why?
godfather, man.
Yeah. So why don't you think more people are? Why don't you think more people are talking about creativity? Or maybe I'm just missing. Maybe in my circles, there's a smaller group of people. Tell me about that. What do you think about that? Is that your opinion?
Man, Rufus, that is a great question. I'm literally in a mastermind. We were just talking about that yesterday.
Okay.
So what that's very interesting that you bring that up again.
Yeah.
What I think it is, because when I first came into the business, my very first deal was a sandwich lease option that
Yeah.
yielded me $72,000. Right, that was my
Wow.
first deal. I next went into wholesaling. Once I bought it, because I didn't know the difference. I didn't know what none of these things were called. I was
Yeah.
just
Yeah. Just
taking
doing the
action.
deal. Yeah. Yeah.
So exactly, you don't understand until you start understanding. Then I'm like, man, I came in here kind of what people may say is the hard way, but it wasn't hard at all. It
Yeah.
was just having the creativity to
Right.
solve someone's problem. You got to be a problem solver, and if you guys come at this as someone who wants to solve problems, that's how you'll make your money. That's how you'll become someone who is an asset to people, because you're solving problems, not just trying to make money. It's a big difference.
Well, it is a big difference, and it's interesting you say that because I often think, well, first of all, real estate investors think they're in the real estate business, and they're not. They're in the marketing business, but they're also in the problem
Marketing
solving
and
business.
sales.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so, and I, like you, when I started off 30 years ago now, man, it's crazy. I feel like I'm a dinosaur. I didn't know all the names of the, subject to with lease option, sandwich lease. I was just doing the deals, and I knew enough about the creativity to just focus on solving the problem, because some sellers, the solution to their problem may not necessarily be to sell the house. So if you're going in there and your only tool is fast cash in 7 days, no fees, what I mean? There's all kinds of stuff that they can do. So
Yeah, you're missing out.
you're missing out. Yeah. So yeah. So is your primary focus creativity? Is that kind of your main strategy? I mean, like the Ron
Well,
LeGrand, like the
wholesaling.
transaction engineer scenario.
Sure, sure. When I got my next mentor, which was Tom Kroll and Joe McCall, coincidentally, they were simultaneously allowing themselves to mentor at the same time,
Okay.
just for a short period. And I was one of the students that got into that. So what that showed me was that wholesaling could be the foundation of a great real estate company, a great
Okay.
business. And what I mean by that is that's how we go about the deals. Yeah, we might go after them with the wholesale, kind of approach, but that was at the beginning.
Yeah.
Once I wrapped my head around what I was actually doing, I started to do it the other way and say, hey, let's go after the creative deals. And if they don't work that way,
Then there's
because let's figure out what the problem is, then
yeah.
we'll wholesale it if worst case scenario or something. So that just comes from time, and
Yeah.
you don't have to take that much time, guys. You can learn these things super quickly, guys. Listen to your mentors. My mentors were always, I promise you, giving me the proper guidance. It was me getting out of my own way and believing in the things that they said, such as
Sure.
getting a virtual assistant. They
Yeah.
told me that way, long in my career. You need to get some help. I'm telling myself, I'm the sales guy. I know how to
Right.
do this. If I hand it
Sure.
over to them, well, no, it doesn't
Yeah.
work like that. You can only do so much.
Yeah, yeah. My mentors told me that you can learn by experience or you learn by taking advice. The both of them will get you. There's one's more painful than the other, right? So, like you said,
Nice, 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 and I like that.
yeah, listen to advice. So, man, we're gonna talk again. I love because creativity. And it's funny because most of the people that I talk to, they're not talking about that. They're just talking about wholesaling, fixing and flipping, and
Yeah.
and that's like a small piece, a fraction of what's available. In fact, I remember guys like this might probably date me here, but guys like Robert Allen, and all those no money down guys back in the the early 80s. I mean, they would list 100 different ways to be able to do a transaction, and most of them had nothing to do with actually selling the house or maybe taking ownership of it. I mean, like you said, you back into that maybe as a last resort, but you've got all kinds of ways to get in and out of
So
a deal,
many.
yeah, and solve the problem for them. Because again,
Yep.
if you're just asking the person, it's like asking a yes or no question as a salesperson. You don't want to do that. You want this, yes or no? I mean, it's like, hey, I got three different options. I got five different options. I mean, which one's going to work the best, So it's interesting, but I love that approach, and that's completely different than pretty much everybody else that I've been talking to. Very few people. So I would love to get into that a little bit more. And so we have to schedule another
Sure.
time to do that. But man, listen, I appreciate your time. I'm next time you see me, my beard's gonna be longer, and I'm gonna be. I'm trying to. I might be in Atlanta. I might come look you up, man. Um,
You can
because
join the beard club with us again.
join the beard club. Yeah, I mean, I need to do that. But
Yeah.
seriously, man, I appreciate your time. You share some nuggets and
Yes, sir.
some gold nuggets, and yeah. And I so would you be open to connecting again, man? To talk maybe just talking creativity, creative deals,
100%.
creative. Okay, let's do that. Let's
Man,
do that.
I love real estate, man. I love talking real estate, man. So we could talk for hours about this on this topic. So yeah, I
Yeah,
love it, man. Let's do it
yeah.
anytime. This is what the
One
people need. This is the perfect time for it as well.
Absolutely. So let me ask you one closing question with regard to Ron's stuff. What would you
Mhm.
recommend of Ron? Now, are you familiar with the Wolf couple? Have you worked with them at all?
Yeah, yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah, the wolves.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Wolves. Yeah. Well,
yep.
anyway,
We're in a mastermind together.
oh, you are cool. So, what if
Yep.
if somebody wanted to get into creative real estate, right? And kind of start building their education, their chops around that. Is that something that you teach
Mhm.
people, or as part of what you do, or
Yeah.
what would you recommend as a resource? Okay, you do that.
Guys, I teach it as well, but let me tell you, with the webinar that you're going to get with Ron, just go ahead and look at that webinar, okay? Ron is the godfather, okay?
He
He is
is.
the teacher of the teachers of the teachers. So I partner with Ron for a reason, all right? There's no need to compete with the best, okay? You
Right.
figure out how to assist and work with the best. So that's what I've done, guys. So take a look at that webinar, guys. It'll get you everything that you need. Anyone who takes advantage of any offers that's in that webinar, and you don't have to, guys, you don't have to take advantage of it. But anybody who does, you've got me. I'll be more than happy to help you out, get deals closed, walk you through deals. This is what I do, guys. I help people. It's hard for me to turn folks away who are in my ecosystem and part of my system, guys. So be a part of my system. Help me, help you, help us all. That's my motto.
I love it. Well, I'm part of your system now, so you're not gonna get rid of me. And
Hey, wouldn't
yeah,
want to do that, man. You got a new friend, brother.
there you go. Well, cool, man. Well, listen, thanks again for your time. I'll look for that webinar link, and then yeah, we'll definitely schedule a time to just talk creative real estate again, and get I can pull some more knowledge out of your head there because I know there's a ton in there. So I appreciate it, man. So you have a good one, my friend.
Let's
We'll
do
talk
it.
again soon. Okay.
Thank you so much for having me on.
You bet. Talk to you soon. Bye now.